And I tell you what, God's God's amazing. I don't want to go into full details of it as far as stuff goes, but when I listen to a man talk about stuff, just I feel the I don't even have to look at my face. I can just it's like I feel a glow within me whenever I end up listening to his voice. And it's not necessarily his voice, it's what he's talking about. It's very accurate. But not only that, one of the things that I've seen is that uh, and this is the other reason why to stay away from toxic reprobates is that when somebody actually is doing the will of God, then they know how to love, they know how to be patient, and the love that they have is genuine. It's not fake. Um, and I'll take it a step further. Um, tend to lift people up instead of putting people down. Tend tend to see through the BS of the ones that are more like cult leaders and stuff that are into self gratification, if that makes sense. Basically, everything has to center around them, and it's like kind of like another bow down and worship me or else scenario. Um, that's the real reason why when I think about what goes on in the churches and how people are more and more people are getting very upset with what's going on in the churches, and some of them have written different books and stuff. I'm not gonna sit there and peddle the books for them. That's not my intent. I think that the churches are the deception, the strong delusion, whatever, and that the one word, the words in the sentence come out of her, my people do not partake in her sins, basically is kind of like the equivalent of the Cliff's Notes of get out of the churches. Most definitely. I kept trying to go back into the churches, and it's just like the more times I try to give the churches a second or third chance, the worse, the more times I got burnt, if that makes sense. I mean, it just was like, it was like, but that also deals with knowing by their fruits. That basically when I'm being bullied inside of a building called a church, it's like I don't want to sit there and walk into a building called a church. Um, when the ones just seem more like they're wearing a bunch of costumes and it's some sort of masquerade party, and I'm not into masquerade parties. It's like, yeah, um, when I think about the ones that are involved in the masquerade party being sexual perverts and reprobates and giving preferential treatment to rapists, it's like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with them. And when I look at the amount of just basically, it's like if I were to go out and and look at an apple tree, there could be an apple tree. And then if I were to look at a pear tree, there could be a pear tree. And the apple tree would have apples on it, and the pear tree would have pears on it. And it's like, there's no way for me to sit there and basically get a pear off of an apple tree or an apple off of a pear tree. Same thing with there's no way for me to uh get grapes off of a poison ivy vine. Um and the thing is the ones that think it's funny to have rotten fruits, they've already made their decision that they think it's funny to have rotten fruits. They brag about having rotten fruits. And they typically disclose that they have rotten fruits. Kind of like it. An analogy would be Rhett Butler in the movie Gone with the Wind. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Just something like that. That basically that was when Rhett was walking out and basically discarding Scarlet. And but it also deals with the fact that what I mean, the movie Gone with the Wind just like screams how a narcissist like Rhett Butler is. Not disclosing what he's actually up to, not disclosing um extremely charming. Typically has some sort of substance abuse problem. Typically moves around a lot, is like a carpetbagger. Um, does things like kind of like tries to bribe Mammy with the red petticoat and stuff. But Mammy was the one that said, what was it, Miss Scarlet, he ain't no good. That basically it didn't matter that Mammy didn't have a college degree, that basically Mammy listened to what her gut, what the red flags were saying. And very powerful movie. But it's just like, what's her name? Prissy sitting there going, I ain't know nothing about birthing babies. And all of a sudden she gets slapped in the face and physically abused.